Hi, Nutrition. This is Yaffi Lvova, registered dietitian nutritionist with Baby Bloom Nutrition. And today I have special guest Malka Rodal with the Organized Fairy, and we're going to talk about kitchen and pantry organization. Thanks so much for joining us, Malka. How are you doing today?
I'm great, and thank you for having me here. I'm super
Well,
excited about this.
it's very exciting, and I will make a personal disclaimer that Malka did handle my kitchen and also my bedroom closet. So there's my personal disclaimer that I can vouch for her services personally because this is not my strength, as you might have read in the blog that I posted. So why should someone be organized, Malka?
That's a really good question. I actually like to ask my clients that question when they come to me because it's always good to know what your goal is, why you want to accomplish something, right? So, you ever heard of the comparison of a woman's brain to an open internet tab of, you have like hundreds of tabs open? That's pretty much what our brains look like, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like with just a little bit of organization, it can help so much. It could just close some of those. And that could be with, you know, planning menus so that every day you're not always thinking about what I have to prepare for dinner that day. Or shopping lists. You're not standing in the store and wondering, what was that item that I needed? And then you come home and you're like, oh, if I only would have written that down, I would have known. So if we set ourselves up and have those lists ready, you have like, let's say for a shopping list, you can have a running shopping list on your phone, on an app, or on your fridge, on the as a magnet or something like that. Something that's right there and easy to just get. You don't have to think about it. You just have it there and you grab it when you're ready to do your food shopping.
So, anyone watching, if you are, if there's something that you like that you use as far as an app for grocery shopping, please comment. On a personal note, I'm looking for something new. And there are different features that different apps might have. For instance, if sometimes your other half does the grocery shopping, then there are apps where you can share that and they can see the list as well. And I think that's something that's really beneficial. But I really like having it on my phone because we always travel around with phones, and you generally always know where your phone is. So it's not like writing it down on a piece of paper, which then you can lose because you haven't listened to Malka's advice yet. So I really like that. And so comment with any apps that you use that help you organize. And anyone watching, I'm going to send them a free PDF of the meal planner that I organized because that's the one thing I can organize. So,
Well,
so how does organization improve your life?
on so many different levels. There's the big ways and the small ways. So anything, it'll save you money. You'll know what you have in your home and you won't be overbuying things that you don't think you have anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
It'll save you time. You don't have to go grocery shopping 5 days a week. Instead, you can kind of make that into a one-day shopping spree, and you can spend more time with your little kiddos or your loved ones or your friends.
Or your Netflix.
If you need that chill session, go for it.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
but it's true. If you need more time for self-care, that should always be on the list because if you have time for your family, for your loved ones, then you have to make time to take a warm bath or go take a run, whatever is your self-care, then you make time for that as well. And if you're more organized, you might have more time for that. So maybe that's why I should maybe pick up my house. Okay. All right, continue.
perfect. On a smaller scale, you improve, you see what you have in your home. It's easy to get to. Let's say, for example, organizing kids' toys, right? They
Mm-hmm.
what they have as well. If things are clearly labeled and organized, then they are able to actually clean up as well. So that's a big one. I wouldn't say that's a small one. That we could put that on the list of the bigger goals. And that's really huge when the kids can do that on their own.
I ran into that problem myself, and unfortunately, you were on maternity leave. But I mean, well, fortunately for you, unfortunately for me, and we kept telling the kids to clean up the play area, but they couldn't clean it up because there wasn't space. There weren't places to clean it up. It was just shoving anything where anything went, and it never looked clean, and they never knew where anything was.
Right. So when there's like a specific place, then that makes it so much easier for them to know, okay, I put this back over here or over there. And, imagine for yourself if you walked into a room that was completely, let's say you spent a whole day cooking in your kitchen, and your kitchen was a complete disaster. And you're like, where in the world do I start? Okay, so thankfully we have cupboards for dishes, and we have, a dish rack to wash our dishes onto. But for kids, it's really, really difficult if they don't have that. If they don't have that clear cut space. Oh, this bin is for this, or that shelf is for books, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we set it up for them properly, then we really set them up for success, which helps us in the long run, because then, the goal is that you should never have to clean up your kids' toys.
Yeah, that sounds like a dream.
Mm-hmm.
So thinking of the pantry, here we go. I'm going to take myself out of here. Okay, so this is the blog that I wrote in preparation for today's talk, and so this is like the dream pantry. So can you talk about how to start cleaning your kitchen? Like how to start getting to that?
Okay, so if you want to start in the pantry, what I would do is start by pulling everything out. Pull it all out. Empty it. You want to start on a new slate. After that, you're going to categorize it. And you're going to have your section of pastas and beans and rice and cans and jars and snacks and breakfast items. Just separate it all into their own categories. And depending on what the product is, depending on what the food item is, I would highly recommend bins and baskets. This is where you want to spend money on organizing products, because if you have kids in your home, as your kids get older, they start helping themselves. Or if you have a spouse, your spouse may also help themselves to things and may not put them back the way you like it. So when we put them in bins, then it kind of tells the person who's opening the closet, this is where this goes. This is where the jars go. This is where the cans go. And when you're finishing off your project, you want to label all the things that you have. So you can label this shelf on the spot where that basket goes. Or if you have a bin that's plastic, you can label that as well. And I saw you have quite a few in the blog post. There's great products there. So,
well, you suggested them, so yeah. Those are all of Malka's favorite products are in that blog post with links straight to Amazon. So I'll post that in the comments also, the link to that blog. But so it's helpful to have appropriate size bins.
Absolutely. Now, I get requests all the time from, clients or even friends that are just like, oh, I'm redoing this area of my house. What bins would you recommend? So first things off is don't get your bins before your project, unless you're working with an organizer that could kind of see the future and see what would look good in that space or what's practical for that space. But you want to first go through everything, throw out all the expired food items and only put back what you're going to keep. And then you're going to know, okay, this is what I need. Maybe I want, a 3-level can holder or a spice rack for my spices. There's so many different systems of organizing, and just, do the first part, the organizing part, and then go out and find what are the best products for me.
So I'm going to do something fun. I hadn't planned on this, but I'm going to take my computer with me and show you what I did for spices, because my husband's very handy and that's my major tool. Not everyone has that, but You have to check out what he built. Okay. And I meant to show you this. You're going to be so impressed. Okay, so there are my spices. And it swings out.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? So he saw that in some magazine. And created it. Oh, look at your face. Isn't that really cool? So it saves a lot of space.
Add it in.
What's that?
Add it into your blog post.
I should add that. But so there are a lot of different creative ways to save space, and that one is great. And I've also seen spice racks on the inside of the cabinet door, which also saves space. So it's really good to know what your space is and what your capabilities are. And if you're not good at woodworking, I mean, I never would have done that. But then there are a lot of different options. And I did have in the blog post the graduated stairs, and everything's adjustable. And there are a lot of fun options. You could really get lost with that stuff.
There's so much out there.
Yeah. So anyone watching, comment on what your number one problem is, and we'll see if we can address it. And so how it can get so overwhelming. We were talking yesterday about how when you start, you can just like walk around your house and you try to do the laundry, but you can't do the laundry because the place you fold is covered in clutter, but you have to pay the bills in order to move that pile, and it just kind of spirals. So if there's someone out there who really wants to organize in general, but looks around their house and says, I just don't even know where to start, what would you advise for getting them started?
So the beginning of an organizing project or organizing in general can be extremely overwhelming. What you're describing is like usually more of an extreme case. And if someone is feeling like that, they may want to, call in a professional or call even a friend. You might want someone to help you at least just start, right? But the best way to start is really by choosing one project. Choose what is frustrating you so much, right? So let's say you mentioned the laundry, right? So let's say the area that you're folding laundry, maybe it's on a bed. I fold my laundry on my bed. So we can start with making the bed, right? Maybe make that a daily routine of making your bed every morning. And it just adds that little bit of like neatness. And it's not necessarily organizing, but it's just like a small way to start creating an organized habit. Then you have a surface to start folding your laundry. Maybe if the laundry is so overwhelming, it's time to start making a laundry schedule. Maybe doing laundry, random days is not working. We have to think like, what day does my kid need this shirt or this skirt or this, when's a good day to do linen or towels, and kind of just schedule out over the course of the week. And on that day, try to fold that load of laundry. So it's just one load that you're folding that day. So let's say on Sunday, you might want to do a dark load. On Monday, I know you said you don't separate your laundry.
Yeah, Malka's laughing at me because I don't separate anything. I like the risk. I used to do like bungee jumping and scuba diving, and now my life is kids, so that's my risk, is just throwing everything in the laundry together, and it gives me a thrill.
Too funny. And when you have it all, scheduled out over the course of the week, again, that's something you don't have to think about. It's just like, okay, today is towel day. Let's gather all the towels and get your kids involved. I tell my kids, bring the towels from your bathroom, and then all the towels go in. And, it's also teaching them good things, right? They get involved in house care. We all live in the same home. We all have to participate. And, maybe a problem that someone is having is in their kitchen, right? And it's like crazy overwhelming. They could just never get on top of the dishes and the stuff, and the food doesn't fit in the pantry. So take a cabinet in your kitchen, do a project, do something set your timer for a significant amount of time. I work with my clients for 2 hours at a time. Maybe you might want to do an hour and just, put on that timer and work on that cupboard or 2 or 3 for that hour. And when you're done, you're going to feel so good, and it's going to give you that like boost that I could continue this. And make it an appointment with yourself. Make it an alert on your calendar, or in your book, whatever it is, wherever you put down your appointments.
Yeah. Well, what I love about what you're saying is it's a positive approach. You're adding something instead of taking it away. Instead of saying I'm going to stop doing this, you say I'm going to start doing that. And that's an approach that I take when counseling people with nutrition, is that it's always better to add something in than to take a negative approach by saying I'm going to stop doing something. It's always easier to say I'm going to take a walk rather than saying I'm going to stop sitting and binging on ice cream, watching Food Network at 11 o'clock at night. But again, I'm not talking about myself at all. So it's great to take that positive approach. And I find that you mentioned having a friend over. I find that even if that friend isn't directly helping, just by talking to me, it's a distraction in a good way. It distracts me from what I'm doing, and I'm able to be more productive. For instance, when we were chatting last night, I finished the dishes, and I can say that there are no dishes in my sink now because I was on the phone with you. And I felt like, I should be doing something with my hands while on the phone. And that's just, whatever works for you. You can put on music. You could even put on the comedy station on Pandora or Spotify. They have comedy stations, and that might be a way to get you through it. If you're watching the profanity in your house, you can type in clean comedy, and it pulls up a lot of stuff. And there are comedy routines that don't have any of that profanity or those themes that you want to stay away from when kids are around with their sensitive little ears.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so I think it's good to have that as well. So speaking of kids, one more thing I'm going to ask of you, and thank you so much for being generous with your time. What's a good way to start teaching kids these habits?
Okay, so I love this. This is like my favorite part of organizing. So it's all about, again, it's the little things. You want to start by making sure that they have a place for their things. In my experience, when I help my clients, let's say doing the kids' toys, sometimes I get, comments like, I doubt the kids are going to be able to keep it up. But I'm like, you just wait and see, because the kids love it. They need it so badly, and it makes it so much easier for them. It's not like all over the place. It's not crazy. So, whether it's when you come in the house, you just take off your shoes and you put it in that spot. Or you have a spot for for the kids' laundry basket in their room, and you say, okay, go throw your clothes in the laundry. So they have a place for it. Or a place for toothbrushes. You say it's time to go brush your teeth. They know where to find their toothbrushes because it's in the same place every day. Right? So when we do that, let's say if you have, school-age kids, have a very specific place for their backpacks. So when they come in and you want them to empty their backpack and hang it up, they know exactly where to put it, and it's going to go back to the same spot. It takes time for that to actually happen. But
I also actually had my husband build a shelf for that, and we call it the everyday shelf, and it has a box for every day. So I know their karate stuff goes on Monday, their swim stuff goes on Wednesday, and it's got hooks for their lunch boxes, backpacks, and water bottles. And it is really, if you don't have a spot for something, create a spot for it, because it's really taking a load off. Who wants to go running around looking for karate uniforms when you have to leave the house in 5 minutes?
Exactly. So things like that really, really make a big difference, So like I mentioned before, setting up a playroom in a way that kids can actually enjoy their playtime, where bins are labeled. Maybe if children can't read yet, then you might want to put a picture of that item there. Or just have clear bins. You can have clear bins, and then they can see what's inside. Right?
I love that. So what do you if they build something with Legos and they don't want to put it away because it'll break if they put it in the bin? How do you
So
handle that?
I'm working on. I hope that when I have a bigger home one day, I'll have like, a place that, I can actually put something like that so they don't have to do that. Um, but I feel like it's also about being flexible. Like for me, I'm more like, I want it nice and neat and clean, but I also want to be practical in the sense and be like, okay, like their stuff, their children, this is their home too. And
Hmm.
they play here. And right now, like in my home, I don't have a separate playroom for my kids. So sometimes the living room will have some structures for a day or two until it's like, okay, now it's time to put that away. If it's something like Lego, I'll usually like put that in the closet and then take it out again. Um, you know, take it out again,
Hmm.
ready to play with it.
Nice. Okay, I appreciate that. We're trying to do a display shelf, which,
Exactly.
give it a fancy name and maybe they'll stick to it. Make them feel fancy. Well, if anyone has any questions or comments, please comment in the comment section. And Malka and I are going to be going through the comment section randomly to address any questions. And more Malka than me, because as I said, not my strength. But go check out the blog. There are a lot of fun organizing products that can help get you started. And yeah, there are affiliate links, because why not? And join me next week for Nap Time Nutrition at 1 p.m. Arizona time, which is 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific right now, because we don't change the clocks. And I have a lot of fun topics, but if you have any suggestions, I would love to hear them. What are nutrition challenges facing your family? So follow me on Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook. You're already watching me on Facebook. And find Malka at The Organized Fairy on Facebook and on Instagram.
Thank you so much. This was great.
Oh, thanks. It was fun. Thank you for watching. See you next week.
Bye.